Hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and just to let you know, this vlog has two different sections in it. One talks about technology and the frustration thereof, and the other part is about haters, one of my favorite subjects, and how to deal with people who are hating on you. So I hope that is good for you. For those of you who are new, don't forget to subscribe if you like a bit of wit and wisdom. We're inclined to do both a little bit of learning, personal growth, and some humor around it, because I think it's much easier to learn that way. And the humor that it is, it's just stories about my life that will hopefully help some of you live your lives in a more understandable way. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. This is DearMamaSal saying, did you subscribe? If not, press the right buttons below or the picture in the corner. It won't affect anything. It just pops up another screen somewhere that you can go to later. All right, this is DearMamaSal saying, enjoy the vlog. Bye-bye for now. Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a cloudy Tuesday morning. It's 16 degrees Celsius, which would make it, I believe, about 63, 64, somewhere in there in Fahrenheit. I'm saying that for Denise's benefit, because Denise mentioned to me that I'm inclined to say, and that makes it such and such in American. And Denise's point was that of the Americas, North America, Central America, South America, stretch quite a long way. And not everybody in the Americas, I guess, is on Fahrenheit. So it was a little, when I first read it, I sort of went, and then I thought, you know something, I can live with that. So in future, I'm just going to go with the Celsius and Fahrenheit and work it out. Whatever country you're in, whatever measurement you use, grab it. Now today, I wanted to talk to you about reframing again. It's really interesting, the things that have happened to me this week that are really huge lessons in how I have changed. And I have to say that I used to be totally driven by my emotion. And I'm not saying I'm without emotion, because that would not be true. I'm a very emotional person in lots of ways. But I mean, learning to redirect what goes on. And I thought I'd give you a couple of examples. I got home last night and went to go and open up my computer to start editing, transferring the footage on so I could start editing. And my computer blinked about 4 times and stopped. I went, oh, okay. So I turned it on again and it blinked about 4 times and it stopped. Now, I don't know how many times I actually repeated that process before it struck me that maybe there was something wrong. And, you know, probably about 6 times before I went, this is not good. Now, it broke my heart because I'd already transferred over the footage from the weekend of the girls. And what I do is, as I transfer things out of my phone or my camera, I delete them off my phone or my camera once they're transferred. So I'm pretty sure I've lost that footage for the time being. Anyway, so here's the thing. Was I very upset? Sure, because there was a moment of loss there. Have I lost that footage? But not only lost the footage, but if you think about it, I've lost time now. I've lost the ability to be able to get on with my daily schedule. I've lost a lot of things, so I expected to go through the usual cycle of loss, right? Number one, denial. How many times did I turn that thing on? I've tried to. And then anger. Small words I used, not polite. And then the sadness of it, as you know, has to come. And eventually you just go, okay, fine, it's not going to work. What's plan B? Well, luckily I have a backup computer, which actually is my big computer. And my big laptop. And so I fired that up. And then, of course, I've got a lot of stuff in that particular computer. It doesn't sync with what I had on the other one, so now I had to, anyway, long story short, I knew I was going to be wasting hours getting everything functioning so that I could edit the blog. So that's another loss. That's a loss of my routine to get things up for you guys. But you guys are pretty flexible, so I decided I would just put up the notification that you know it was going to be late, and then you can make your own decision. So the good news was that I managed to get the vlog done and up before midnight, which I think I got it up by 11:30. Which goes to show you what sort of a life one has as a vlogger, if you work all day as well. So I hope you understand that in order to do that and not just throw up my hands and go, rats, I had to sort of just reframe my mind and go, okay, this is not working. What's plan B? So now what I'm going to be doing is taking my little laptop that I'm inclined to edit with off to, and let them try. By the way, I did Google quite a bit and it said I needed to take out the battery. So that was fine. And then I Googled my particular model, and apparently it doesn't have a battery you can take out. You need a technician to do that, of course. So is this going to cost me money? Sure. Does that please me? Not at all. Definitely not in my budget. But it is what it is. I have a choice. Find the money, do what needs to be done, or not have a backup computer. And I can tell you that in my life, not having a backup computer is a dangerous thing, especially with the summer coming. Now, the other example I wanted to give you was a really important one for any of you who have got haters in your life. I didn't talk about it before I went away because I didn't want to spoil my weekend, but I definitely want to give you a reality check about things that happen in my life. I got home on Thursday, which was the night before I went away, and found out that my boarder, I had somebody renting a room in my house, had just up and left without any warning, without any notice, just literally up and left. That would have been quite a shock in and of itself, because that would obviously dramatically change my cash flow by that amount of money every month. But also left me a letter from hell. And when I say a letter from hell, a very, very angry letter. And what it had to say about me wasn't particularly nice, I must admit. And so you understand, I get to choose how I process this information. And for a moment, the kid in me felt sore and sad and angry, and it wasn't fair, and da-da-da. And then I just stopped. And I went, I don't want to go down this road. This anger is transference. This is not about me. This is about my boarder. My boarder's got issue, and he is venting on me because I'm the reason why he's got issues in his mind. The next thing I did, and I have to be quite honest, I was quite surprised at myself. The next thing I did is I prayed for him, because I said only somebody with a very angry mind could write such a horrid letter. And I literally spent the rest of the evening, every time it came into my mind, I just prayed and asked for protection for him and for peace, because I would wish that he would find peace, because obviously he's not very peaceful. So I wondered if any of you can relate to this, where somebody is transferring their anger onto you and accusing you of stuff that in their mind is perfectly true for them. The fact that it's perfectly true for them doesn't make it perfectly true for all people, because it is their perception, or their chosen perception. So for example, when I get haters on the channel, which I do, I have to always remind myself, this is very much the minority of the people who are watching, and just let it be. You're never going to please all of the people all of the time. Let it be. Just continue with the people that you help. Now, talking about that, I was so delighted that many of you wrote to me about the tulip story and how glad you were that I left it in and I didn't just edit out my disastrous trip. Because you see, to me, it wasn't a disaster at all. It was great fun. I was having great fun going there because I knew how excited you would all be. And then the funny thing was, I got so much pleasure out of knowing how much you were laughing at me, or with me, when they weren't there. Now, I've done a bit of research, and we've got a few tulip fields actually within an hour of me, which were blooming as of last week. Do you know there's part of me that really wants to take that drive and find out if they're still blooming this week? Now, if I did that and they cut them last week in principle, you know how amused I would be. Lordy, wouldn't that be funny? So part of me really thinks I might just go and do that. Take a little trip. Okay, let me know if you want me to do it. And, there's a 50-50 chance, if not 60-40 probably, that they will have cut the tulips. But that means there's a 40% chance that they might not. Very exciting. So today's lesson really, and I say lesson, but today's thoughts are about what we choose to keep in our mind. You remember I spoke to you a number of times about the fork in the road. Every time you get one of these things happen, you get to decide, do I want to go down this path or the other? Do I want to get sucked in to the negativity, the anger, the hatred of the letter? Or do I want to take a deep breath? Feel the emotion, because that's, obviously I felt hurt. Obviously I felt it unjust at some level, but then I realized it's just at another level because he must have felt it, otherwise he wouldn't have written it. And then to actually decide, I choose not to get sucked into this. I don't want to be part of this. I choose to stand outside the anger. And it was really amazing because he even made sure that he blocked me from his email so I couldn't respond. Not that I would want to, quite honestly. And all sorts of control things like that. So that's pretty cowardly, isn't it? Never mind. That was a judgment. I apologize. Anyway, so here's the thing. I just realize now that all the time we get to choose. Do I trust in the good? In other words, I don't need to buy into all of this. I can continue my life. Now, there is that part of me that goes, was any of this based on truth? So I do look at it and check it out and see, well, is that true? Is that true? Is part of it true? Maybe. Then maybe I want to look at that. But I certainly don't want to believe that I'm the witch of goodness knows where. Because I know I'm not. I know I'm not. I needed to talk to you about it because, as I always said, that I would be as honest with you guys as I can be. And that does leave some things private, but that sort of thing, I think, happens to all of us. And so I'm hoping that the next time it happens to you, that you can understand somebody is transferring their anger. They cannot do that unless they've got anger inside them. The hater's got a hate thing. People who have that much anger need to let it out, otherwise they'd have a heart attack. So in a way, that you can almost be thankful that they let it out at you, because at least they got it out. And believe you me, I am well aware of the fact that I am not a perfect. And I'm also well aware that some people come into our lives for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. It actually isn't a judgment on me. And so I beg you, the next time that this sort of thing comes down in your life, take a breath. Feel the emotion, but then don't get sucked into it. All right, once you've felt it, go, okay, right, now then let's reframe. So how many of you can see that if I were really in a bad space, I'd probably think that my computer had it in for me as well. Or maybe that somebody had hacked it. There's 1,001 things you could think. The truth is, it's got some sort of electrical short going on, or some sort of thing, and it's got a protection thing where it's not allowing it to turn on, so we'll let a person who knows what they're doing sort it out. I'm very grateful for the fact I have a second computer. I would have you remember, their anger does not have to be your anger. Their hatred does not need to trigger your hatred. Their irrational beliefs do not have to be your truth. You can stand outside all of this and look in and go, wow. I almost like to do it like somebody's telling me the story. You know, if one of you were telling me the story, I would be able to dissociate from it. I would be able to stand outside it and go, okay, is any of it true? And if not, then move on. Just their opinion. I hope that's helped some of you. And if it has, and if you've got any stories of where you've managed to do that, feel free to share them, because other people will learn from them. To breathe in parking space today. And the other thing is, if you are struggling with that at the moment, and need to vent, feel free to write to me privately. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.